Hello. Again, it's been a little while. So, why does OBS fuck with my game? This is a game on the Source engine, you shouldn't be lagging. Anyway. What was I gonna say? Yes. So, it's been a little while since I did anything. Probably not been wondering where I am, but I'm gonna tell you where I've been for the past few months anyway. I have been doing nothing but playing Helldivers and random games and getting far too interested in 40k. This project, for as long as it has been in production, which is about a year now, is going to be admittedly very shit. I think it's going to be pretty shit. Whether or not you think it's shit is entirely up to you. I think it's going to be a very iffy video. Why am I saying this about my own project in the intro? I want people to watch this. Ow! Stop! Get away from me! But, yeah. Minor epilepsy warning for some of the parts. There is a link in the description to the mod as well. So, if you don't feel like listening to my dumbass read a script, you can always download and play the mod yourself. And of course, before anyone asks about it, I am well aware of the watermark on the Gmod bits. Some of them. I only recently figured out how to turn it off after I finished everything, so that's why it's there. And I am too lazy to go back and fix it myself. But yeah, I hope you enjoy this, and yeah, I'll see you around. Bye bye. Chapters 1 and 2 are relatively easy, with nothing really threatening to try and kill you, besides the Combine in the train sector, and of course when you're running along the roof. Now, that doesn't mean that there aren't things in the start of the game that can't kill you, for example some stairs. But, for the most part, it's just standing around, watching NPCs talk, and that's pretty much it for the first 2 chapters. Chapter 3 takes place mostly in the sewers of City 17, and surprisingly, there's a lot of Combine patrolling these sewers, so we must use our big scientist brain to outwit and outmaneuver the Combine. We also meet the Manhacks. They aren't much of a threat now, but that might change a little bit later. After a little bit more crawling through the sewage waste, we acquire an SMG, die a few more times in the dumbest way possible. Get your ass away from me! Don't shoot the top ones, shoot the bottom ones. But finally, we reach oh, what a hazard. The first of 2 vehicle sections in Half-Life 2, and the place where some of the most sporadic and random deaths occur. A lot. Like hitting a f***ing pole. This chapter is the most normal out of all the chapters in the game, as it mostly consists of driving through toxic waste and occasionally opening some gates. Now, if you thought the APCs or the unreachable Combine would be the worst part of this chapter, well, you'd be wrong. See, Manhacks, of all things, are a real pain in the ass. They know where you are at all times, they're small and fast, which makes them a nightmare to deal with. Plus, there's so f***ing many of them. Nonetheless, we grab the revolver, piss off our helicopter, and continue forwards. We eventually meet some settlers who give us a big f***ing gun to make traversing the canals a little easier, and then, after suffering for an hour, finally take down the helicopter and do an unexpected but cool flip to end the chapter. We get the gravity gun. That's it. Welcome to Ravenholm, a dark, depressing place full of headcrabs and a crazy old guy. Now, Ravenholm was annoying as headcrabs would hide in the darkest corners of the goddamn map and leave at me in f***ing milliseconds. We're also introduced to 2 new variants of the headcrab, the fast headcrab as well as the poison headcrab. both of which are infinitely more annoying than the standard head crab. Now, I spent most of this chapter trying not to die to zombies and props.
What the fuck?
Eventually, we're given a shotgun, which makes clean work at the head crabs. We finally meet up with Father Grigori. He takes us to a graveyard, where we die so many times to explosives that you'd think we were the #1 enemy of Lockheed Martin. After painfully crawling my way through the graveyard, we leave Grigori to his fate and climb our way out of Ravenholm. Welcome to Highway 17, the second time in this game that we get a vehicle. But unlike the airboat, we don't need it, because we can do this.
No, I'm not doing that death trap.
Come back up, Dr. Freeman. The car's on the pier.
Oh, you son of a bitch! I've taken launch and I launched into the highway and...
Son of a bitch.
Oh, we can surf off the wall. Okay.
That's right, we can ABH, entirely bypassing the need for a car. This does mean that I spend 90% of the time dying to terrain and antlions. Nonetheless, I make my way to the Resistance hideout, grab the rocket launcher, and climb the fence using a barrel to go kill some Combine with a crane. After committing vehicular manslaughter, I hop along to grab the crossbow, but along the way I somehow manage to get out of bounds.
You fuck. I'm very good at getting out of bounds of the map by accident.
Anyways, I grab the crossbow and then make my way to the bridge. This bridge is a pain in the ass, because like Ravenholm, there's head crabs hiding in the darkest corners of the bridge. But unlike Ravenholm, there's a small collection of Combine soldiers ready to ruin your day. After unplugging the shield gate, we fight a Combine gunship.
We're here at where we need to be. Never fucking mind. Oh my god, thank...
After a solid few minutes, we're back on track and have a near miss with a train, which leads us to... Welcome to Sand Traps, one of the shorter chapters in this game. We start this chapter by sniping some Combine with a roller mine and listening to the gravity gun say soup. Now the battery puzzle is a section I can usually breeze right on past, and I usually skip it mostly in a normal playthrough, but this is not a normal playthrough. After dying a few times in this section, I successfully clear out all the Combine and move on to meet the Resistance members to fight off some more Combine and, of course, the gunship.
Where'd he come from?
After firing a billion rockets at the gunship, it's finally down and we can move on to the beaches of Sand Traps. And we get to witness the cold-blooded murder of Laszlo by some very, very angry bugs. Now I won't lie, traversing the beach was one of the easiest parts of this chapter, as you can reload your save and avoid the antlion breaches. There's also no achievement for not touching the sand that I got by accident. Anyway, we fight the Combine guard, get the bug bait to storm a prison. Now, to reach this prison, when you get past a couple pillboxes, ascend a cliff face, and fight some Combine guards and another gunship. Sounds easy, right?
Ow.
Hopefully you're not dead.
Oh my god, it's done. Finally.
Eventually, we get past the exterior defenses and enter through a hole in the wall, which leads us to Now, out of all the chapters, Nova Prospect is one of the easier ones, due to the first half of the chapter being empty rooms occasionally filled with turrets. Now, the outlying guard fight is where the chapter really decides to turn up that difficulty.
You silly son of a...
With the guard dead, we can move forwards and finally fight some Combine. As well as more goddamn man-hacks. Why do they have so many of these things?
How in the actual ever-living get this far and forget about grenades? Like an actual dumbass. Hi guys. Hi guys, Mr. Ruff here. That didn't work. Oh, never mind, I already had it. Oh yeah, because this, I saved it upgrade for okay.
After a little while, we run into another airline guard, which, wait, nope, hang on a minute, he's already dead. But this death, however, does lead us to Entanglement is another easy chapter and a relatively short one compared to the later chapters. But we start this one by meeting back up with Alex and taking an elevator that immediately throws us into a firefight that shows my complete incompetence in using the gravity gun. After the elevator, we get some exposition from Alex and Eli, which I promptly ignore before heading out to fight some more Combine. After a few minutes, Alex arrives and condemns us to explore the basement, which is filled with water and electricity. After that, the second holdout section begins, and for the sake of time, I'll just tell you how I did it. I grabbed the turret and sat in one of the cells. Yep. Alex arrives, yaps for a little bit before we descend to the basement again, kills some Combine before meeting up with Mossman, who abruptly teleports away with Eli, thus beginning the third and final holdout section. We don't need to do anything, because the turrets I had set up were doing all the work for me. Finally, the teleporter finishes charging, and we teleport away, leading us directly into Anti-Citizen 1, one of the final 4 chapters, and by far the hardest out of all of them. Now, I should mention that this chapter is mostly consistent of urban combat, which really lets Half-Life 2's AI shine in how dumb its pathfinding is. Now, if we press forwards, we're gonna find some hoppers or combine mines, whatever you prefer to call them. These are not very useful, so we're just gonna dispose of them and never touch them again. Now, after that, we make our way through some zombie-infested houses, into the streets, and back into the buildings, where there are some more Combine, obviously. Why wouldn't there be? After that, there's a section where we need to disable a Combine gate to pass through, and despite me clocking in about 40 hours in Half-Life 2, I only just remembered how to pass this wall after like 10 minutes or so of doing nothing but running around. After that, it's more indoor fighting and a small fight through a destroyed bridge. Time to come back down to the Zuby room.
Wait for us! Dr. Freeman!
No.
And then after that, again, there's a holdout section where we need to wait till some rebels move so we can make our way through zombie-infested toxic waste. Eventually, we do regroup with some rebels and fight our way through hordes of, well, of course, head crabs being dropped in by shells. During this time, the Combine come up with the best way to combat me, and that's by having the high ground. So I suffer through the rooftop encounters with the Combine getting up close. I have to say before getting up close to the Combine. Yeah, that makes sense. Before getting up close to clear them out, we link back up with Alex at some point, who did not try to warn me at all about the incoming Combine.
As annoying as some of these guys are, having the free shotgun ammo totally meant to send her down there.
Now, from everything we have experienced so far, you would think that a simple generator defense segment would be pretty easy. But this godforsaken section took me about 30 minutes to get past, and by the time I'd been joined by Cody, the madman who made the mod. But finally, I managed to get past the generator defense, and I talk about the achievements a little bit as I make my way through another sewer system and a dilapidated building. We then eventually and finally reach. We're finally at Follow Freeman, which means that we are approaching the end of Half-Life 2. And of course, with it being, the third last chapter, the opening is of course very, very hard. In fact, if I say anything about any openings from past chapters, or if I say anything about openings in future chapters, I want you to ignore them entirely. Because this chapter is arguably the worst chapter to start in. Because snipers, very accurate. Very accurate. They don't give a where you are. They know where you are at all times. And you gotta to lob a grenade in there. Though we do manage to get some grenades in there, and we of course do manage to make our way to Barney. We do lob some grenades, and Barney eventually opens a gate for us in return. He takes us to this chapter's center point, which is a big building with 3 generators inside that we need to disable. And of course, in typical fashion of a building that's very important for guarding a tunnel, it of course, has a Strider, a mortar, a gunship, a metric ton of Combine, and of course a bunch of turrets and doors. Just a lot of stuff. So, you know what? Let's go raid a Combine building. Let's go steal some shit.
Alrighty.
Now, after taking out the generators, we gain access to a collapsed tunnel, as I mentioned before, and because Valve doesn't really know what to put here anymore, because, we're reaching the end of the game. What do they got? They've got no real new enemies to throw at us, and we don't even see Stalkers, and Stalkers aren't a threat till episode 1. They just throw Strider at us. I just failed to miss. How the fuck did I pronounce that? They throw a Strider at us, and it's becoming increasingly evident that Valve must love Striders, considering this chapter's entire premise is you just fight a bunch of them. A lot of them. And eventually, after we kill the Strider, well, technically we don't even kill it, we just escape it. We make our way to a destroyed building where we find some Combine who have a thing for throwing grenades. They really like explosives for some reason. we eventually get to the rooftop, and we have to fight a Strider again, of course. And eventually it dies, and we make our way off the roof to safety and jump in a hole, which brings us to our benefactors, the first of 2 levels that take place inside the Citadel. And to start this chapter, we get to ride Dr. Breen's roller coaster of doom, trademarked, where we get to see just how big the Combine's presence really is. After a short ride, we get dropped into the Combine's airport security room, where they disintegrate all of my weapons, except for the gravity gun, which gets infused with the power of 40,000 volts. And this allows me to do this. Now, I wish I could say that this overall change in the gravity gun made the chapter a breeze, but that would be a lie, as the Combine still greatly outranged me. And a funny thing to note about this chapter is that it has a love for generator puzzles and a lot of holdout sections. And there's not a lot of cover in these sections. And yeah, this at all did not make me mad at all. Definitely no.
I can't escape the fucking manhacks.
Eventually, in one of the sections, an elevator comes down, and it's a long way up, and it's filled with more goddamn Combine and no cover. We then fight some Combine using Stalker pods for cover before coming face to face with the Strider at the bridge. And of all the fights in this game, this one almost broke me. As at one point, I loaded an earlier save.
Or just ADH and pray.
Our benefactors is a chapter.
If you grab one of those, grab one of those, screens.
Do you realize where we are? This is the beginning of the fucking section.
Humanity's survival. And not as we have narrowly defined ourselves.
After that, we once again take a ride on Dr. Breen's roller coaster of doom, trademark, up to Breen's office, where my computer crashes, and after a few minutes, we reach. We begin Dark Energy by being stripped of our gravity gun and escorted by Mossman to Breen's office, where we listen to Breen monologue for a little bit about how he saved the human race, and before he gets betrayed by Mossman. After a little bit more yapping, we pursue Breen. Now, for the Breen fight, I could talk about the fight, but instead, I'm just going to edit some music over the fight. So enjoy my final few minutes of suffering. Finally, after days of playing Half-Life 2, it's over. We see G-Man, and the world fades to black around us as we're put back into the state of stasis, officially marking the completion of Half-Life 2 and the end of this godforsaken challenge.
Hello again. It's been a little while. Well, not even a little while. It's the end of the project. I hope you enjoyed. Hopefully, what should be on screen right now is the total death count for each chapter. And somewhere along the lines as well should be credits for music used in the order that it appeared. And as well as shout out to Cody for doing the thumbnail. Once again, thank you. for sticking around, sitting through my dumbass talking. I hope you enjoy doing whatever you guys do with this mod. And yeah, I just in general hope you enjoyed this. This entire project has been a slog, a literal slog to get through, and I'm not kidding when I say it was a slog. I have been working on this thing for fucking ages, and the whole reason I just never finished it was because I just lacked the motivation some days. And I am a little surprised with how this project turned out. I'm actually surprisingly more happy with it than what I thought I would be. I'm happy with it. It's... yeah. Anyway, bye-bye.